Week 6 of the NFL season. Let's go. Welcome back to the webcast, All Sports One Web. It is week 6 of the NFL season. Let's do our picks. We're going to jump straight into it, but first we do have to talk about last week. Going a 5-9 record, the worst record we've had here at the webcast in any sports picks. Conveniently, through October 5th through 9th. Maybe it was just a date curse on us. So let's hopefully get back to winning ways this week to improve that 45-34 record that we have on ESPN.com, where we make all of our picks. So go ahead and make your account and pick along with us through the rest of the NFL season. We are looking to get as close to that top spot as we can. We need to break back into the top 300,000. So we got a good start on Thursday. We got our pick in. Kansas City taking care of business against the Denver Broncos. Not a surprise there. Denver only 3 wins against teams who scored more than 17 points or more against them in the last 3 years. So you get to 17 points, you're going to beat the Denver Broncos. And especially since Russell Wilson has been there the last 2 years. So 19 points for the Chiefs, comfortable in the end to get the win. Baltimore will travel to London, where Tennessee will be waiting for them. We had all of the talk last week with the Buffalo Bills about how hard that turf field is there. I don't understand what my gosh, I'm forgetting the Tottenham Hotspur's owner, Daniel Levy, was doing with that new stadium design. They opened it up. They were so excited to have this partnership with the NFL, only to go ahead and have multiple fields where one of them was turf. What's the whole point of the rotating fields that you have there where you can pull off one and put on another if you're just going to have turf underneath? It would make sense to be able to pull up another grass field. Therefore, you're always keeping one in good condition. That's what I thought was going to happen. We got turf. It was turf on concrete. Everyone was complaining about it. Jacksonville got the win, but now 2 running teams have to go play on that. Hopefully, we won't get a lot of injuries. Tennessee Titans, only 3 wins against Washington, Denver, and the Chargers when Derrick Henry has less than 4 yards per carry. We know that Ravens defense is going to show up and travel well there to London, only allowing 3.7 yards per carry so far this season. I think they will get the offensive sorted after that great start against Pittsburgh last week. 10 points, 150 yards in the first quarter and some change. Outgained Pittsburgh by over 150 at halftime, but still only had 10 points to show for it. That blocked punt ending in a safety, the short fields, the turnovers, the inability to convert on 4th down, all reasons why the Ravens found themselves leaving Pittsburgh with a loss. But I think they will leave London with a win. I think they just will be too much defensively when you can stop Tennessee, even with DeAndre Hopkins, getting some cool usage coming out of the backfield there in a couple of snaps against the Colts last week. I still like the Ravens to stop the run and cause a lot of issues. The Falcons definitely going to be leaning on the run, but with Washington's performance against the Bears last Thursday night, DJ Moore could do what he wanted. He should have had 5 touchdowns, if you ask me. A missed deep ball from Justin Fields there in the back of the end zone. The phantom call down the sideline, which we'll get into a little bit later. But those could have resulted in 2 touchdowns for DJ Moore. Washington yards after the catch was terrible. Yards completion percentage is pretty bad against the pass as well for Washington, letting up 30-plus points. Atlanta being at home, I like the Falcons. B.J. Robinson will lead the run game, but I really look for Desmond Ridder to kind of build on last week and kind of keep that going there in Atlanta. Give me the Falcons over the Commanders. Minnesota Vikings lose Justin Jefferson for the next 4 games at least as they travel to DJ Moore and the Chicago Bears, who have lost 3 of their 4 running backs on their roster. Deontay Freeman is going to get the start there. He has 5 total snaps so far this season, but he will be the workhorse there in Chicago against the Minnesota defense that is giving up over 70% against completion percentage against the pass, similar to that Washington defense. I don't necessarily look for the run game for the Bears to take them to victory in this one. I look for Justin Fields and the combination with DJ Moore, which we were so excited in preseason to keep on flourishing. Give me the Bears over the Vikings. Joe Burrow getting back to winning ways there last week. What a great performance. His ability to step up in the pocket. He did a couple hurdles as well. The calf looks perfectly fine. Jamar Chase all got what he wanted. 3 touchdowns, setting the Bengals record in completions, 15 catches against the Arizona Cardinals as the Bengals get back to winning ways. They now return home against the Seattle Seahawks, who are coming off of a bye after they sacked, if you remember way back when, Daniel Jones 11 times, including I think 4 or 5 in the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter there at MetLife. Seattle is definitely going to be leaning more on the run game, though, and I would as well when you are playing a team that ranks bottom 3 in yards per carry against, which is what the Bengals are. We saw what Arizona was able to do on the ground, even with little dink down passes. If you threw those in, they were really able to get what they wanted against the Bengals. I think Seattle will do the same. I am super excited for Joe Burrow to be back. Throwing and being able to move with no issues with that calf. Jamar Chase, obviously a great asset. That combination is going to get points. But I think Seattle's a combination of being able to stop the run, forcing Joe Burrow always to pass, and their ability to run the football against a bad rush defense, I think gets Seattle the win in Cincinnati. Another team looking to go in across the country to get a win in the state of Ohio would be San Francisco. No Deshaun Watson again in this one. If you remember a couple weeks ago, they were going to play Baltimore. Deshaun Watson pulled himself out as a healthy scratch. They then went into the bye, and you would all have expected that Deshaun Watson was going to play this weekend, but no, he is another scratch. But now I guess he has a shoulder issue. So I don't know if he picked that up or why he was approved to go play against the Ravens, but now 2 weeks of more rest and he's not approved with a shoulder issue. I think there's some issues there. I don't know. You saw him pull out of a couple blocks as well in his last game. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is going to come in, DTR. Let's see what he can do. He had 3 picks and 0 touchdowns against Baltimore in his last game. I think San Francisco will cause even more problems as well as maintain the ball. Brock Purdy, he's going to be able to just dink and dunk all he wants against that. He's going to let that defensive rush come from Myles Garrett, but he's going to be able to dink and dunk to Christian McCaffrey to get out of it. And so I just like San Francisco to run away with this one. I almost think 3% is too high for the Browns, but you got to respect that defense. Miami lose 11 yards per carry. A-Chain goes down to injury last week. They will still lean on Raheem Mostert. They still have Tua. They still have the reception leader in yards in Tyreek Hill. And Bryce Young in the battle of Alabama quarterbacks will take another L. As I got the Dolphins to win in that one. This next one, the Colts traveling to Jacksonville, very interesting. Colts 8-game away losing streak to Jacksonville. They played though